It is May 15th, and while officially hurricane season does not start until June 1st, this is the first day that the National Hurricane Center begins issuing their tropical weather outlook. Thankfully, no expectations of any development across the Atlantic basin for the next 7 days. Probably going to start off fairly quiet, and we were expecting this. We knew what happened. 90. We did it. Our first 90 over the last 228 days since the last time we reached 90 degrees at Kenner. We got there today, but again, far cry from our record on this date of 97, so we could be much, much worse. However, when we hit 90, dew points were in the mid-upper 70s, and so heat indices for at a time were up to 102 and 103 degrees. So it was a hot day today. Still feels like 96 outside. At least there's a little bit of a breeze out of the south at around 14 miles an hour, and the winds have been gusting a little bit higher than that. Started out the morning with mostly cloudy skies, but as expected, we broke out into mostly sunny skies, and that is what allowed us to get into the 90s. And a number of locations reached the low 90s during the day today, and some are still there. Dew points are higher, so it is more humid, which you take that into account for the heat index. So it feels much hotter than it actually is. And those dew point values are going to stay in that low, mid, and maybe occasionally upper 70 range. That is kind of the oppressive humidity we deal with in the summertime. So definitely more of a summer type feel today. Winds out of the south, and again, at least there has been a little bit of a breeze, and expecting a kind of breezy day tomorrow. So our heat wave has begun. Expect more 90s, higher humidity, and heat indices in the near 100 range, or sometimes even above 100. We do have, though, some nicer weather late next week, as models still on board with a cold front pushing through late next week. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Upper ridging has really built in, and so expect temperatures through the rest of this weekend and into early next week to stay about the same. No major changes coming with this upper ridge pattern. There, though, will be times where the center of the ridge kind of fluctuate a bit back and forth as upper systems try and push a little bit farther into the deep south. And there are some decent rain chances to our north, but never anything for us along the Gulf Coast. When we do finally see a chance of rain, will be on Wednesday, as this upper troughing looks like it will send a front through. Again, this is what the models were saying yesterday, still saying the same thing. An East Coast troughing pattern would definitely bring in some better feel air. Now, we're already talking about late May cold front, so what we expect from temperatures, probably highs in the 80s, but less humid would make it feel a bit more comfortable going toward the end of the week. Next couple of days, though, going into the start of next week, highs in the low 90s. We are coming close to records, especially on Monday, where the record is only 92 degrees, and maybe Wednesday, but I think with the front timing, we may stay in the 80s. It really depends upon when the front moves through will determine our high temperature for Wednesday. But those would be the only 2 days where the records would be in jeopardy. Otherwise, the records are generally more mid-90s, and we're not going to be getting quite there. What does, though, make it feel hotter is the high humidity. Typically, if we're going to get into the 90s, we have high humidity, and when you factor that in, our heat indices will be mid-upper 90s and even at times above 100 degrees. We still have a fairly active weather pattern, though, what we call the ring of fire along the outer rim of these upper ridges, and some significant severe weather and rainfall is expected across areas just up to our north. But in terms of organized rainfall like those type of systems, nothing ever making it here. Does look like our clouds increase again overnight tonight to start the day tomorrow, and then more sunshine during the day. It's that cloud cover at night that really prevents us from even getting cool at night. So temperatures to start the day in the mid 70s, and then we warm up to about 90, 91 degrees, and that'll be the pattern taking us right through this weekend. So outdoor plans this weekend, dry and nice with a lot of sunshine, but just take into account the heat. Temperatures in the 90s, stay hydrated, and sunscreen. That sun angle is getting high in the sky. We'll stay in the low 90s to start next week. Here comes our front. Not a lot of rainfall with it. Rain chances right now looking to be around 30%, but it should feel a whole lot nicer by the end of the week.